Take just about any NBA dynasty or even most championship teams. They didn't have just one star. They didn't have two either. They had three. Three players to build the team around. Karl Malone and John Stockton were one of the most accomplished sports duos for 2 decades with the Utah Jazz, but there wasn't that third superstar to help them reach that final step. As these teams will show you, a big three will often lead to greatness. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we dive into the 10 greatest big threes in NBA history. And we do hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, feel free to click subscribe down below for more cool videos every single day. Number 10, Pierce, Garnett, Allen. The only sad thing is we didn't get to see these three play together longer. Still, they took advantage of their time together on the court. Pierce was a 10-time All-Star with Boston. They partnered him with the greatest three-point shooter ever in Ray Allen and big man Kevin Garnett, a 9-time All-Defensive First-Teamer and 15-time NBA All-Star. In year one together, the Celtics won the 2008 NBA Championship. Injuries and age prevented this trio from winning more together, but 3 future Hall of Famers brought relevance back to the most historic NBA franchise ever. Number 9, Kobe, Shaq, Horry. The Black Mamba rose as a superstar when he debuted with the Los Angeles Lakers in 1996. Bryant is arguably one of the top 5 players of all time. What do you get when you pair him with one of the best big men ever in Shaquille O'Neal, who won 3 NBA Finals MVPs, and the always clutch Robert Horry? How about a nice, juicy, beautiful three-peat? This trio led the Lakers to NBA championships in 2000, 2001, and 2002. Shaq Daddy was the heart, Kobe the arms, and Horry the legs. They all did their parts in bringing success back to LA. Number 8, Thomas, Dumars, Laimbeer. Isaiah Thomas was the heart and soul of the Detroit Pistons from 1981 to 1994. The 12-time NBA All-Star fronted a ship that was also steered by physical, intimidating Bill Laimbeer and the slick-shooting 6-time All-Star guard Joe Dumars. This trio was active from 1985 when Dumars arrived to 1993 when Laimbeer retired. The trio guided the Pistons to a pair of NBA championships in 1989 and 1990. If it weren't for an uprising dynasty that we'll get to later, the Pistons could have totally won way more titles with these three. Number 7, Chamberlain, Baylor, West. This trio was only together from 1968 to 1971, but they still accomplished plenty. Chamberlain, perhaps the greatest NBA player before MJ's arrival, won 4 league MVPs and joined the Lakers near the end of his career. These 3 men combined for 38 All-Star appearances and were all named to the NBA's 50th anniversary team. The trio did win an NBA championship together, well, sort of. Baylor retired after just playing 9 games in the 71-72 season. The Lakers went on to win the NBA championship that year, and they still gave Baylor a championship ring. We just wish we saw more of these 3 legends together. Number 6, Bird, McHale, Parish. Larry Bird was the face of the Boston Celtics throughout the 80s. The 3-time NBA MVP was a 12-time All-Star who averaged 24.3 points and 10 rebounds per game. He was accompanied by Robert Parish, a 9-time All-Star who averaged 14.5 points and 9.1 rebounds per game. And then there was Kevin McHale, the defensive standout who averaged 17.9 points and 7.3 rebounds per game, while being named to the NBA All-Defensive First Team 3 times. 3 stars who could score like no tomorrow and defend their basket the way the CIA protects the president. The trio won 3 NBA championships in 81, 84, and 86. It would have been more if it weren't for another great NBA trio that dominated the 80s. Number 5, LeBron, Wade, Bosh. The Miami Heat became the biggest bandwagon jumping team in the year 2010 when LeBron announced that he was heading to Miami to form a super team with Heat legend Dwayne Wade and former Toronto Raptors star Chris Bosh. Despite spending only 4 years together, they accomplished a ton. James won a pair of league MVPs. The Heat won the Eastern Conference every year as well as the NBA championship in 2012 and 13. All 3 qualified for the 2011, 12, 13, and 14 All-Star games as well. Who knows what more could have been accomplished if James didn't head back to Cleveland in 2014. Number 4, Russell, Cousy, Heinsohn. Bill Russell was a 5-time league MVP and averaged 15.1 points and 22.5 rebounds per game. 6-time All-Star Tommy Heinsohn averaged 18.6 points per game, and Bob Cousy won the 1957 league MVP and led the NBA in assists 8 times. Russell was an 11-time NBA champion, but he can thank fellow legends Cousy and Heinsohn for helping him win 6 of them. Number 3, Johnson, Abdul-Jabbar, Worthy. Magic Johnson was arguably the best player of his era. The 3-time MVP averaged 19.5 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 11.2 assists per game. Pure dominance. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's 38,387 points are the most in NBA history. He was a 6-time MVP and 10-time All-Star. Big game James Worthy averaged 17.6 points per game and was a 7-time All-Star. These icons combined for 3 championships together in 85, 87, and 88. Not to mention Abdul-Jabbar also had 3 other championships to his name, and Johnson had 2 without Worthy, but man, if Worthy was a Laker earlier. Number 2, Duncan Ginobili Parker. Start with one of the greatest big men ever in Tim Duncan, who was a 2-time league MVP, 15-time All-Star, 5-time NBA champion, and 3-time NBA Finals MVP, who averaged 19 points and 10.8 rebounds per game in his career. Throw in Parker, the flashy point guard who had slick ball-handling skills and set up talents like no other. 6 All-Star games? Yes, please. Then you have Manu Ginobili, who can make just about any shot from New York to Boston while blindfolded. To the surprise of no one, this trio won 4 NBA championships together and were a sure bet to lead the San Antonio Spurs to 50-plus wins every year. What's more remarkable is how they won all these titles with an LA Lakers dynasty and Dallas Mavericks powerhouse to deal with for over a decade, too. Number 1, MJ, Rodman, Pippen. When you have the greatest NBA player of all time, the chances of being the greatest trio of all time are great. But when you add perhaps the greatest defensive player of all time and one of the best shooters/ball stealers, things are guaranteed to be great. As everyone knows, Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships with the Bulls and 5 league MVPs. Scottie Pippen was part of all 6 championship teams as well, reaching 7 All-Star games and averaging 16.1 points and 5.2 assists per game in his legendary career. And then there's Dennis Rodman. He was part of the second three-peat. The 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and 7-time NBA rebounds leader, wreaked havoc on the court with his aggressive yet effective defense. Imagine if Rodman was with the Bulls his whole career. Chicago could have won like every NBA title in the 90s. Who are some of the other greatest NBA Big Threes of all time? Join us in the comments below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. We appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around Total Pro Sports, though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.